Look, I don't care what my mom says. If those jumping spiders come near me, I'm calling the exterminator, and that's final. Oh, hey everyone. Well, this will be the last of Asian review, but of course I'll be reviewing a few Asian films. It won't be Asian, wouldn't be part of Asian month, but who knows? And of course, this will be the end of Asian month, but in July, the next month, there's going to be another month I'm going to be reviewing. But one thing I gotta ask you, do I look like Quentin Tarantino? I mean, if I stick my chin out, and of course the hair makes my chin stick up more, do I look like Quentin Tarantino? Eh? Who knows? Anyway, that's what I'm going to be reviewing for today. Next month will be Tarantino month, where I'll be reviewing all Quentin Tarantino films, from *Inglourious Buzzards* to *Reservoir Dogs*, *Pulp Fiction*, *Kill Bill* 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. And hey, who doesn't like Quentin Tarantino films? He has an interesting taste of movies that he's going to be reviewing, that I'm going to be reviewing, of course. But of course, for the end off Asian month, this will be the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you today. But of course, I call this movie the best of two worlds, because this one is going to star a Filipino actress who is really, really lovely. I mean, she's very beautiful actress. Goes by the name of Alessandra De Rossi. Alessandra De Rossi. She's a very popular Filipino actress. And of course, in this movie, she's going to be in China. And of course, the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you today is, of course, The Maid. It's a really good movie. I mean, pretty dang good. In this one, Alice De Rossi here, she's going to be playing a Filipino girl who's being hired to be the new maid from a Chinese family who are play people. They perform plays for entertaining folks. Now, they hired her as a maid, and of course, I gotta say, this would be the bad timing, because in this movie, according to the Chinese calendar, it's going to be the 7th month in China where the gates of hell is open and all the ghostly spirits starts roaming around. That's right. That means that this Filipino maid here, she came in China around the time where all the dead people are roaming around because the gates of hell is open. So she's going to be getting some close encounters of the spooky kind with all the ghosts around. And of course, they always say, every time if a ghost freak you out, all you got to say to them is, leave me alone. But of course, in that certain month, everybody in China, they respect the spirits by creating fake money and setting them on fire. I mean, tossing fake money on fire so all the spirits can have all the money that the people give them. And of course, they lay out food for them so the spirits can eat when they're hungry. And also, to immediately respect the spirits, they always make a papier-mâché doll of the person who died, and they set them on fire to respect them. And also, they burn incense, more respect for the spirits.
Hey, in the gates of hell they get no respect.
Anyway. And of course, Rosa, the hired Filipino maid, she starts working as a maid, but she gets really freaked out that every spirits always keep haunting her. And even she tries her best not to be too afraid. And all of a sudden she discovers that the husband and wife who are the owner of the house, she meets their son, who has Down syndrome. And as they kept on preparing the play and all, her and their Down syndrome son, they're trying to go through their usual ways, and of course, their Down syndrome son gets freaked out every time she meets other ghosts around. But of course, there's more into the story. So, what the heck. I guess I'll give you some spoiler alerts on this one. In this story, she starts to discover that there was a girl who was a maid before her. Her name was Esther. And of course, she was from China. And as she starts figuring out, it was the ghost of Esther who tries to contact her because she has a feeling that her soul hasn't been resting in peace. And of course, to make things a lot scarier, their Down syndrome son, he's a ghost too. Oh. And of course, throughout the whole story, dang mosquitoes, throughout the whole story, she starts to discover that Esther was murdered because their son, he kind of sexually assaulted her, and to make sure to keep her mouth shut, they burned her alive. And of course, their son didn't like it, so he committed suicide. And every 7th month of the Chinese calendar, he comes back. And they were planning to use Rosa, the Filipino girl, as a human sacrifice to be the bride of their son. But of course, good old Esther, she saves her life. And she decided, since she finally got her revenge, and of course the son, he finally figures out what really happened to Esther, he got mad at his parents too. So now, him and Esther, they decided to take their revenge by burning his mother and father alive. Let them suffer the same fate as their last maid. And of course, they were supposed to make a deal with her. If she works in their house, she would offer some money for her younger brother because he has bad kidneys. And trying to save enough money so her younger brother can have some new kidneys from the doctors. Because I know that organ transplants are very expensive in other places. Thank goodness she didn't meet any of the those illegal black markets for kidneys. I mean, I heard a lot about that, and some of them were based on urban legends. Which I would like to tell you some spooky urban legend stories in October. Of course, I'm saving that for October. Anyway, this is a really good movie. I mean, you should watch this movie. It is unbelievably good. And of course, Alessandra De Rossi, she's a really good actress. And very lovely, I have to say. She is very, very lovely. And every time when the husband and wife tries to tie her up, I'd rather save her life. I'd rather jump in there and punch him in the face and untie her. But, it's just me. I'm a sucker for a damsel in distress. I should have been a superhero. But I just had to start out as a critic and a reviewer. Oh, by the way, as you remember the last video of Dracula, talking about his idea of his Japanese Dracula film, I kept telling Dracula that I don't have enough money to go to Japan. I only have enough to go to Hawaii. But I can't go that far. But I'm getting really worried. Because the SOB trying to kill my grandma! So I had to beat him up to make sure he doesn't touch my grandma. Make sure he doesn't try to kill my grandma. And one thing I gotta say, Grandma, run, Rich! Run! Anyway, thank you for watching this review. Watch this film. I think you were gonna love this movie. And of course, this will be the end of Asian month. So, stay tuned for the next month, Tarantino month. And the next movie I'm gonna review is Inglourious Buzzards. Yeah, you hear me say buzzards because, well, I don't want to cuss. And even though the title has a cuss word in it, I still like to say buzzards instead of the other word of an illegitimate child. Anyway, so long everybody, and leave a comment, like a video, and yada yada yada. Bye bye.